So for these next two questions, just know that I've gotten approval from Eileen and your supervisors to
I'm
ask
so
these.
scared.
If you could change one thing about your CF experience at all about kids, what would you want to change? And you can answer honestly.
See, for me, it's so different because I had the not so great CF experience before this. So for me, All About Kids has been like a literal dream CF. Like if I could have started here, I would have. Um, but honestly, I wouldn't change a thing about my CF experience. I think maybe the only thing would be, like, how quickly all, like, the initial, like, emails come in, but, like,
Hmm.
obviously, it's the beginning of the school year, and they're trying to reach service providers and get kids serviced and make sure the IEPs are being met and make sure they're in compliance, like, obviously, it's completely understandable, and that's something that, like, can't really be changed, but, like, when you're a new CF, getting those emails and not knowing how to call the parents essentially and
Yeah.
being like, "Hey, I just graduated, but, like, I wanna see your kid." And then be like, "How many years of experience do you have?" And you're like, so this is actually my first year practicing." And they're like, kind of like having that, I guess, would be like having, like, training on that. But, like, honestly, that's the only thing, and if that's the only thing, I'll take it.
Yeah. What about you, Kate?
I think, like, I agree with Mallory where, like, kind of the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing, and yes, like, we had, like, 1 or 2 orientations, and then it was just like, "Okay, you need to now go do this," and I was like, I need to do what? I think there just needs to be maybe something where it says, like, "Okay, you here's your checklist. You need to do all of this by the
Mm.
time you start," or whatever, like, something like that, because I feel like I was so lost and constantly I was not, like, meeting the needs of everybody, and I was getting emails, and it was like, "You need to do this, 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 and this." And I was like, "Okay, I'm treating, but, like, I could do this as soon as I'm done." Like, I was, like, trying to figure out, like, when this person needed this, when this person needed that, and I was just, like, so overwhelmed because I felt like I had to do everything as soon as it came in, and I felt like maybe I was behind on
Mm.
things. So kind of explaining I know we did have, like, an orientation meeting, but just kind of giving us a checklist of saying, like, "When you first see a kid, you need to have all of these things complete," or like, something like that, because I was just, like, so I just felt like a little kid again. I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I need to figure out that, I need to figure out this, I need to figure out that," and I was like, "What? I don't have enough hours in the day," and I would get home and I would just be like, "Uh, what do I do? And, like, where do I
Yeah.
start?" Like, and stuff like that, so I just kinda I mean, now, obviously, I come home, I do everything I have to do, I get everything done, like, in a timely manner, like, stuff like that, but I think at the beginning when I wasn't, like, doing all that, I was kinda, like, thrown to the wolves at the beginning.
Mm.
It's like, "You need to talk to this parent and figure out this," and I just, like my schedule at the beginning was just so terrible, and I just had
Mm.
no idea what to do, where I was seeing a kid at 3 o'clock, and I was seeing another kid at 10 o'clock, and, like, then one kid at 1 o'clock, and I was like, "Okay, what's with the rest of my day?" And then, like, eventually, obviously, I filled in, but those times that I started with maybe wouldn't have been ideal for, like,
Mm.
now. So I think, like
Yeah. If let's say if you were put in charge of the All About Kids CF program next year, so you have total autonomy, is there anything that you would do to improve the CF's experience of the next year, the year where you're in charge? It could be preparation for materials or just knowledge giving the CFs before the year actually starts. It could be something on the day to day, but anything that you might add or adjust if you were given that power with all your supervisors and All About Kids managers watching. No, I'm just kidding.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But for me, I think just because of the elementary school,
Yeah.
like, you see a lot of the teachers having the prep periods. You see a lot of them having a lot of time to actually plan for their days. Kind of, at least for me, like in the school setting, I am going from my first session at 8:10 to 11:30. I have a half hour for lunch, and then I'm seeing the rest of my kids until 2:30. Um, so kind of maybe like working in with the district if possible, just like a little prep time. Like obviously sometimes I get that just because kids are either absent or there was a gap in the schedule and I automatically have it, but kind of ensuring it that we get prep time because I know for me, I don't like to bring work home. I like to keep work and home very separate. That way I have good work life balance. So I'm like, I'll go in a little bit early. I'll use that as my prep time, but maybe like I don't want to go in early one day. Like I want to be able to really spend my time getting ready in the morning. Um, so knowing that, oh, at 10 o'clock today, I have a secured, protected prep time.
Mm,
That would be like unreal and
yeah.
amazing.
What about for you, Kate?
I think, like, for me, when I first started, I didn't have a lot of materials, and I was just
Mm.
kinda like, "Okay, like, I'm gonna have to make a tissue work, or, like, Imma have to make, like, something work and figure it out from there,"
If you
because
didn't already cry into it,
r
you have to dry it
exactly.
Or
out.
make the cry tissue work.
Yeah,
Yeah, then you hang
you
it
know,
up,
you
like, on a
might have
drying
to.
rack.
Oh, it's
Yeah, and it would be,
crunchy.
like, arts and
Yeah.
Why?
crafts, yeah, so yeah, but, like, just trying to, like, even, like, if there was something for someone to say, like, "Okay, these were the materials that I used when I was a CF at doing CPSE or EI," or something like that, just kinda, like, giving the CFs the option of saying, like, "Okay, here are some materials that I used," because like, when I was in grad school, we had use of, like, the entire clinic, and we had, like, used toys and stuff like that, so I used a lot of toys then. So it's
Mm,
the opposite now because or, like, when I first started, because now I have, like, built up a whole, like, army of toys. But, like, when I first started, I was like, "Okay, I need to pick 1 toy out of all of those toys that I played with and buy it and see how that works, and then try this and try that." And I think it was just, like, I didn't know where to start, especially knowing, like, I was going into EI, which I did not do in grad school. I did, like, maybe 1 kid, but not in their homes. So, like, I didn't kinda know where to start with that, and also I agree with Mallory with, like, having a prep period. I don't really have a lunch either, so I kinda, like, eat in the car, and I have to, like, make things work, but maybe just trying to, like, give time, just say, "Okay, you need 15 minutes to yourself in the car, whether you wanna cry or you wanna, like, eat food or you wanna
yeah.
whatever you wanna do," like, that's kind of stuff too.
That's why parking is so important because you don't
You don't
wanna
wanna
have to
park too
cry
close
on
to
the
the school.
grass. Yeah, or in the street. You need a
Yeah,
place to eat and cry that is
yeah,
fully covered and protected from the environment.
Yes.
yeah.